Hello and welcome to this Red Gamer Tech video. Myself, Marta. As always, I'm here with the latest from the tech world in the last 24 or so hours. Today I'm going to kick things off with a very interesting report about what Intel are up to with their 5G. As according to Taiwanese sources, they are going to be beginning volume production of 5G modem chips in the second quarter of this year. Now the pressure is definitely on Intel to kind of keep up the pace, because you may recall not that long ago I did a report how Apple are apparently considering other alternatives, as of course Intel are their supplier of chips at the moment, but with 5G Intel hasn't really delivered the goods and Apple are looking for another company to potentially work with. So Intel definitely have to keep Apple happy, or it might lose a very, very big client indeed. But it could take a year or more before they actually mass produce 5G modem chips, due to things such as, you know, actually making sure all the testing's complete, design, and all that sort of nitty-gritty yellow tape stuff. But Intel did say back at the Mobile World Congress that they're trying to make its own radio front-end module to help the XMM8160 modem communicate with 5G networks. So they are definitely hard at work and definitely very aware that they need to get this right. But even if Intel does begin 5G productions this year, I would not really expect to see 2019 iPhones be 5G ready, as Apple doesn't really tend to be at the forefront of adopting new technologies. I would pretty much put a safe amount of money on them bringing it in 2020, even if this report is correct, and the report is from DigiTimes. So there is going to be a link to their report in the description below this video. So even if this is correct, that they're going to be beginning, volume production in the second quarter of 2019, I would not expect to see 5G ready iPhones until 2020, but that is pure speculation on my part. But we're going to move over from Intel to AMD, as we have a couple of things from them today. Basically we have a Reddit user by the name of Spike Pones, who has discovered something interesting in the new UEFI version for BioStar's X470 GT8 motherboard, and it is a code name by the name of Valhalla, which appears on the common options sections for processor settings, and it is shown as Valhalla common options. Now, normally we would see, or expect to see, should I say, Zen common options, because that's the name of the architecture. So Valhalla could actually be the architecture's code name, or the new code name for the actual full platform itself. Now there is a full paste file linked in the description below this video where you can see all of this stuff for yourself. If you want to give it a look-see, I would recommend you do so. It is there for your perusal. But if you do scroll through it, you will see that the control core counts reveal that the menu options allow for disabling all but 2 cores, but we see CCD instead of the expected core complex, or CCX. And this is referring to the compute core design, which obviously is the fact that we've seen a bit of a deviation in how they're actually designing the new Ryzen processors. But essentially what we're seeing a confirmation of here is the new AGISA and BIOS for Zen 2, and actually kind of lines up nicely with the previous rough releases, which were around June, which of course line up what we have heard ourselves as well. Now again, the full paste file is going to be in the description below this video, as well as the Reddit thread where I actually found this, so all credits to the Reddit user who did find this. Anyway, we are going to move on again to NVIDIA. And this is actually a bit of an update, a bit of a follow-up, if you will, to something I discussed a little while ago, that basically there were rumours that Intel and NVIDIA were battling it out for the purchase of a networking company by the name of Mellanox, and NVIDIA has actually come out victorious on that one. They have managed to purchase the company for a staggering $6.9 billion. And according to the CEO of NVIDIA, Jensen Huang, this is a signal of a pretty significant turning point for NVIDIA towards the data center. Now this is not exactly surprising at all, really, if you've been plugged in at all to what's been going on in the tech world over the last year or so. We have seen all companies, Intel, AMD and NVIDIA, really pushing towards data center, because that is just where the real big money is, as much as obviously we have seen them depend on gaming revenue, and I'm sure gaming is still going to be a part of all of those three sort of portfolio, as it were. We have seen all of them drive towards data center, neural networks, AI, all that sort of stuff. And we have a very interesting interview with HPC Wire that Jensen did, and of course there is going to be a link to that in the in the description below, should I say, where you can give the whole thing a read. But here is where he really signifies that they are making this big push towards data center, and he said, quote, "Data centers are the most important computers in the world today, and in the future, as the workloads continue to change, triggered by artificial intelligence, machine learning, data analytics, and data sciences, future data centers of all kinds will be built like high-performance computers. We were a GPU company, and then we became a GPU systems company. We became a computing company, which started from the chip up. Now we are extending ourselves into a data center computing company. We believe that in future data centers, the compute will not start and end at the server, but the compute will extend into the network. Long term, I think we have the opportunity to create data center scale computing architectures. Short term, Mellanox's footprint in data centers is quite large." Now, I'm sure some of you are wondering what exactly Mellanox does. Well, obviously they're a networking company that primarily focus on HPC and data centers, but their strategy is to offload networking tasks from the CPU onto dedicated network hardware, and NVIDIA has already made use of some of their technology in the DGX2, which you may recall NVIDIA were touting as the, quote, world's largest GPUs. Sorry, not GPUs. But still, I'm not by any means saying that NVIDIA is abandoning gaming and they're now just going to be data center. That's obviously extremely silly and incorrect, but they are definitely focusing more on data center. We already know that NVIDIA love their AI, they love their machine learning, they love to talk a bit about things like SIGGRAPH and stuff like that. So I'm not really surprised to see that they are focusing even further on it, and this acquisition of Mellanox definitely puts them in a pretty strong position, and Intel are probably a little bit upset that they were pipped to the post in terms of sheer dollars offered for the company. So following from that update, we actually have another update to finish out the video, and this is actually regarding that whole Epic launcher thing that I discussed yesterday. Now we actually have a couple of updates to this, the first of which is a comment from a Reddit user on a r/PC gaming thread about the alleged collection of data that has been done by the Epic Games launcher. Now, a bit of TLDR, essentially there was a Reddit post yesterday, go check out my video yesterday for the full skinny on this, there's a bunch of links in that video as well, basically alleging that the Epic launcher was getting data from your Steam friends and all this other stuff without your permission, which obviously is a fairly serious accusation. Epic unsurprisingly have denied this, basically saying that there's a reason why it looks at your Steam friends and it is only with permission, it doesn't send anything to Epic and blah blah blah. Again, do watch the video from yesterday to get the full lowdown on this. And now we have an update from a user who, again, I'll include the Reddit thread in the description below this video, but they seem to know their stuff. So I'm going to read their update, and then we've got an update from Valve as well to follow this. So this user is r/Kai, or u/Kai should I say, sorry, and they say, quote, "Getting sick of the misinformation, even from the previous thread of one user's misuse of Procmon. Query name information file is literally querying whether the file exists. It is not collecting information about your actual Unity projects or Firefox browsing history or user data. This file query could be a direct lookup, or a haphazard result of reading the Windows registry and querying every program executable, installed, or accessed even if not installed, which many applications do, as does the Windows Store, but without any actual use. Regarding the other thread, a user found files named tracking.js, and similar things were being accessed. This proves nothing, once more, without a network analysis tool like Wireshark. The screenshot even shows that tracking.js seemed to do was record your interaction with Epic's own launcher. Every website and decently sized company that develops software will track your usage to determine how you use their software, so they can aggregate that data to improve user experience or create products that market similarly well. I don't have Epic Launcher installed, but like many other launchers, they include web browser elements which are typically displayed via a self-contained instance of Google Chrome, Chromium, or Qt. Since game launchers are essentially a browser window to display their launcher, the developers may not have changed it much. Why would they need to if all it does is show the launcher? They can develop within the launcher like a website, so there's a high probability that Google Chrome's or Qt's libraries, even other third-party libraries, are doing erroneous things that are not attributed to the publisher/Epic. And they even directly address something that Epic said in the Reddit thread yesterday, where they said that the launcher scans your active processes to prevent games that are currently running from updating. And the user says, quote, "This makes some sense. The launcher could be called to check for a running game executable once a game is launched via Epic, create a file and modify that file with running game processes that can be cleared from the file, haphazardly scan all actively running executables and shown a known database if it is a game." And the user does state that they do seem to have taken the approach with the last option there, the haphazardly scanning option. So do give their full statement a read. I have not given all of it because it is quite lengthy, but I've given the key points here. Basically, they are saying that the tracking.js file is harmless and they are not doing anything nefarious by what the launcher is doing, and basically saying that the original poster has sort of misunderstood some of the data. But what about Valve's take on all this? You know, this is their data as well that could be being used, allegedly. And there was a statement to Bleeping Computer by Valve's Doug Lombardi, who said, quote, "They are looking into what information the Epic launcher collects from Steam. The Steam client locally saves data such as the list of games you own, your friends list, and saved login tokens. This is private user data stored on the user's home machine and is not intended to be used by other programs or uploaded to any third-party service. Interested users can find localconfig.vdf and other Steam config files in their Steam's installation directory and open them in a text editor to see what data is collected in these files." So Valve seems to be of the opinion, at least if I'm reading his statement correctly, that they don't believe Epic should be actually messing with the localconfig.vdf file at all, but you may recall that Epic did say that the entire file is not uploaded. It only passes out user IDs and uploads hashes of them, and only if you actually click yes to importing your Steam friends onto the Epic launcher. So whether or not these accusations are true, I think is going to come to light very, very soon, because Valve are going to be looking into this and they're probably going to dig up anything nefarious if it is taking place. But if you do take a look at the Reddit thread, which again is going to be linked below, you'll see several users basically saying that there's nothing unusual going on here. So check out the thread, decide for yourself, but I think there's going to be a statement one way or the other from Valve as to what's going on here. If there is anything untoward going on, it most likely will come to pass, or come out, should I say. But Epic have been pretty adamant, and Tim Sweeney himself has actually weighed in as well, basically saying, look, this is, you know, what they're saying is being done is not the case, but whether or not you choose to take their word is up to you. Anyway, that is me done for this video. Thank you so much for watching. As always, your support is highly appreciated. Do remember to give us a like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.